The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN and get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rithmm, leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Know me, you know the voice on the guy. It's me, really real, villain real, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. It was a good day, almost a great day in the NBA because they're clearly not watching the games. I mean, there's no reason that Portland was an 11-point dog at all to Miami. No reason. Like, there was nothing that you could have told me. And we sold them short. Should have took the money line. That was the day to take Portland on the money line. And you know what? It's fine. It's perfectly fine. Lock cashes. Portland plus 11. Didn't, like, literally no sweat. And then we get to the dog. And Austin Reeves falls short because they're beating the crap out of the Wizards.
Now, to be fair, LeBron also had a triple-double. Trouble didn't help. But
no, but they've racked up assists next to each other before. Yeah. One. He had 8. Still playing Reeves assists, by the way. Still doing that. Seems like that's a really good prop. Like, people are really backing that, and it sounds pretty good right now. So might have to run that back next time I get the chance to get. All right, you heard him, Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
How about if you sweep it out?
What's the point? I can't do anything right.
You'll do fine.
Hey, pal. You just blowing from Stupid Town?
Yeah, not the best episode for me. Unfortunately, I did have the Knicks wire-to-wire in their game against the Nets, and I said specifically, don't screw me over in the first quarter. And the Knicks screwed me over in the first quarter. They led after the other 3, so unfortunately, that didn't work out. First quarter was close. The Nets made a couple shots late, so I ended up losing there. Then the game was close throughout, but the Knicks did a lead after the final 3 quarters, so no real regrets there, but unfortunately fell short. For the dog, I knew Miami was not going to cover, but I chose to go Miami 1-10, and they lost outright. So, yeah, it was a bad read because Portland won the game, but we both knew that the spread was insane. So It is what it is. I took Miami 1-10, 16-3. Now it's 16-4 because they lost outright. But overall, nice job by Portland to show up and dominate the game. So once again, I would say the reads weren't totally wrong, but they were wrong enough for me to lose both plays. So it is what it is. Look to snap back on track here on Wednesday.
Yep, absolutely. We got a big slate. Don't want to waste any time. Want to get down to it. But first, got to remind you that in honor of the big game, from now until February 9th, everything in the merch store is 15% off with promo code BIGGAME. So go over there and get you some NBA, WNBA Gambling Podcast, Tennis Gambling Podcast gear, all of that over there in the merch store. Get something nice. Yeah. Hey, Scott, that looks good.
I'm repping.
Hey, hold on, Scott. That looks really good.
Thank you. I'm repping.
Yeah. Hey, there we go. Shout out to the Tennis Gambling Podcast. Yeah. So make sure you go over there and get some merch, 15% off with promo code BIGGAME. All right, let's see here. We've got the Detroit Pistons on the road. What? Tipping off at what's with the 7:30 tips? What's going on with that? This is the was that yesterday too? I feel like it was yesterday.
Well, yesterday made more sense though because there were only 5 games, and I guess you wanted the game on national TV. But for today, it makes no sense.
Yeah. What? Why are we waiting till 7:30? It's normally 7:00. And this is East Coast. I'm very confused. Whatever. They're slowly just catering more and more to West Coasters, and I don't like it. I really don't. All right, here we are. Detroit Pistons on the road, going to play the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks laying 2.5. 233.5 is the total. injury report for these two teams, and we've got for the Detroit Pistons, it looks like Jaden Ivey is that long-term injury, the only injury that they have. Everybody else ready to go. Trae Young is a probable. You've got Jalen Johnson, who is questionable. I know that for a fact. And then you got Researcher, who is out. And yeah, that's it. Nobody cares about Larry Nance. All right.
I mean, it all comes down to Jalen Johnson for me. If Johnson plays, I'll take.
I think that's the easy way to say it.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before. Without Johnson in the lineup, I don't like this Atlanta team. I feel like at the end of the day, Pistons have played well. They had a very nice win against Houston a couple days ago. They dominated the entire game. They've been solid. I mean, Cade's taken a leap. He's been worthy. I'd say he's been playing like a number 1 overall pick. He's been really good. He should be an all-star this season, and I feel like Jalen Johnson has been a phenomenal player this season in general, but he's been injured. He hurt his shoulder, came back into the Knicks, shot the ball horribly. He had a double-double, so he still played well, I guess, as a whole, but the shot was not falling for him. I think I'll go with the Pistons, assuming Jalen doesn't play, but that's really the only thing that comes down to, because if Johnson's out, I've seen this team without Jalen. They are just significantly worse with him out of the lineup. So give me Detroit for now. If Johnson plays, I'll take Atlanta, but the fact that he played a game or 2 games, then went back on the injury report with a shoulder issue is probably not a good sign. I'll go with Detroit.
Wait. Thrashers?
It's hockey. They used to have a hockey team in Atlanta before they ended up basically
Oh, is this the Jets?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, how did Atlanta drop their hockey team? Well, I guess that kind
Nobody
of
went.
makes...
Well, it was a mix. Nobody went, but it was also ownership. But
What?
they relocated back to Winnipeg. But yeah.
Wow. I was sitting there, I'm like, Thrashers? Who are the Thrashers?
They made the playoffs like 1 time, and the Rangers swept them, and that was basically it. They
Hey,
really
I'm
didn't do
over
anything.
here. I'm over here Googling. I'm like, Thrashers.
Yeah.
I'm like
It
is
used
that
to
that
be a
new No, so I thought it was the new Utah team. I'm like, there is a new Utah
No,
team.
that was the
What would that
Coyotes, who ended up failing as a hockey team in the desert. I'm shocked that didn't work out. But anyway, they're in Utah now, and the Thrashers from Atlanta went to Winnipeg in
be?
Canada.
Yeah.
So
Wow, interesting. I was focused on that the entire. I didn't hear anything you said, but I know that we started, and I'm probably just going to end it with the fact of, yeah, if Jalen Johnson plays, then okay, I can understand taking the Hawks here. But if he doesn't play, there's no way I'm taking the Hawks.
yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right, total's at 233.5. I think the Jalen Johnson thing will answer if I do the total too, because I don't think I want to play the total without Jalen Johnson either.
Yeah, I want the over if Johnson plays. If he doesn't, then I don't want to bother.
Yeah.
Actually, if Johnson doesn't play, maybe Pistons team total over. I can get behind. But I want the Hawks involved too, because they don't guard because they can score a bunch of points, but that's mostly if Jalen plays.
Yeah. All right. Good enough for me. Next game up, let's get to the Phoenix Suns on the road, going to play the Brooklyn Nets. Suns laying 11.5 here. 218.5 is the total injury report for these two teams. And we have Bradley Beal. What is this designation? Oh, it says ankle. Okay. Thought it was I'm trying to get traded. Whatever. He's questionable. And oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, Brooklyn played yesterday, so you got to go through the whole I'm not reading Brooklyn's injury report. Brooklyn played yesterday. You got to go through the whole Brooklyn carousel of who's playing. Maybe not. You get Ben Simmons today because Ben Simmons didn't play yesterday, but
I'm assuming Simmons and D'Lo alternate, and you probably have D'Lo sitting, right?
yeah, and then Cam Johnson. You got to figure out what's going on with Cam Johnson.
He will get traded. We're just not sure when, but he will be traded.
Yeah, and then you Watford, Zaire, like you literally have no idea who's playing on this back-to-back for the Brooklyn Nets. You just got to wait. But honestly, there's only one lineup where I feel like they could put out there where I am completely confident in Brooklyn getting the cover.
That's D'Lo with Johnson and
Simmons.
Cam Thomas would be nice, but probably not Cam Thomas. But it's mostly D'Lo and Cam Johnson.
Yeah, and I would feel better if Ben Simmons was in there too, just for temporary relief in terms of maybe 1 or 2, 3 or 4 defensive possessions a game. But other than that, they just went to war with the Knicks. This is a classic letdown spot. There's no way they get up for this game against the Suns. I understand the Suns haven't been anything to write home about at all.
They've been winning some games recently, though.
Yeah, and I just feel like after getting destroyed by the Cavs, who number one team in the East, you start to sit there and say, okay, we understand where we're at in the league. We should absolutely dominate this Brooklyn team. Like, we're not going to let this even be close with this Brooklyn team. I just have a sneaky feeling that this is the random day that the Suns just empty out everything they have in the tank and just absolutely unload on Brooklyn. So I'm actually going chalk. I'm laying it with the Suns minus 11.5, and large part because of that and the fact that they played the Knicks last night. And this is a letdown spot after playing the Knicks.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it was a physical game yesterday. Came down to the wire. It's always an emotional game when you have an in-state rivalry, and you ended up losing in a game you could have won, and then you have to play at home again against a team that has a lot of firepower offensively, and you might be missing everybody because Johnson's banged up again, so I'm assuming he's not going to play. Russell, I don't know what they're doing with injury management, but that usually means no back-to-backs. I've seen the Nets without those two guys in the lineup. This team can't score, so I am going to go with the Suns as well. I'll play the drop.
Who's got the chalk?
Deja vu. I don't know if deja vu counts on this show because it feels like we've talked about these games like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times over in the years. But that was a severe case of deja vu. Like from Daquan saying that, to me clicking the comment and adding it onto the screen, to for some reason we're talking about the Suns and the Nets. I just wish I knew how it all ended at the end of the night so I could place my bets accordingly. But temporary deja vu there.
You never know with the Nets, but you assume on back-to-backs, the teams that are tanking usually sit everybody for the second night of a back-to-back. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just assuming that they're going to be sitting D'Lo.
Like were competitive. You were competitive in that game yesterday. That should carry you for the next at least 3 or 4 days. You don't have to be competitive anymore.
I mean, just to be clear, Johnson's not going to play because in addition to playing yesterday, he apparently re-aggravated something. So I'm safe to say he's out.
I'm fairly confident Cam Johnson is out.
By the way,
which makes me feel good.
Yeah. I was going to say, unrelated, I see people commenting that Butler went under his PRA again. So 5-0 to the PRA under on Butler. So, keep doing that. I wanted to ask you about the Suns quickly, though. They made a trade yesterday, and I wanted your thoughts on it. There's a bunch of draft picks.
Why are we talking about this?
Because I feel like it's so dumb, the concept, that I have to ask about it. Because the Suns traded away a first-round pick 7 years from now for 3 Utah first-round picks that are like from the Cavs and from some good teams. So they're going to be like probably back end of the first round. Could we just acknowledge that the Utah Jazz traded away 3 picks that could help them in the immediate future for a current 7th grader? Can we talk about that for a second?
No, it's a guy that he was hooping. It's a little kid. I can't remember his name.
It was Potts, I think.
Yeah, it was like Cam Potts or something like that. And they were
imagine a 7-year-old just crossing people up in some basketball camp. But they're like, that's who they're drafting. That's the kid.
I really hope, because my memory is horrible, but I really, because look, I already forgot his name, and it's only been a day. I'm not gonna. There's no chance in 2031 I remember this, but I'm very curious if he actually is in the draft.
They're just showing highlights of some some 7th grade kid like in some basketball camp, and it's like class of 2031. It's like, that's who Utah just traded away picks for to get. But the point is the big trade for the Suns. Because the Suns,
I don't get what the purpose was for Utah. I really
Utah's
don't.
argument is the Suns are going to be terrible in like 7 years. We'll get some picks.
And so maybe the potential number 1 overall pick. Like what? I don't know. I mean,
it kind of sums up the problem you have with the NBA right now, which is a lot of bad teams don't actually want to be good in the immediate future. Because the Utah decided instead of packaging multiple picks for a player right now to help the team out, we're going to focus on a draft from, once again, a guy who's not even in high school yet, to help our franchise in about 7 years from now when there's a different president. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're a long way down the road.
It feels like some teams are just like they're only in the league to be like those fillers. Like if you have like a story, there are those filler characters in a story just to make the main characters look good.
And they get
because why would you make that trade? Like you're literally giving the Suns the ammo that they need to go make a Jimmy Butler trade.
Well, that was the main point, is that the Jazz are facilitating this trade, which basically gives the Suns trading chips. So that way the Suns go further all in to suck even more 7 years from now. Like that's the point here. I just feel like
mortgage your future away so that the pick can be
pretty much
good.
like they're helping the Suns double down on the present so they can suck in the future. Like I
Oh,
understand the
man.
argument, but it's such a bad look for the NBA. You have teams that are actively trying to be irrelevant for basically 7-8 years on the potential of getting a really good draft pick 7 years from now. I feel like it's an insane concept. I get it, I guess, but good for the Suns. The Suns aren't good enough to compete anyway, but if Ishbia is going to keep doubling down on a really crappy big 2, big 3, why not? You get some overall trade chips for it. But I wanted to mention it because I thought it was a pretty weird trade.
Oh, man.
Which I'm assuming you agree with. It's a pretty insane concept that you're trading away multiple immediate draft picks for the right to draft a current 7th grader. I feel like it's pretty insane.
I cannot wait to see how this plays out. I can't. All right.
So I wanted to mention that in passing because that was a trade that happened I thought was pretty unique.
No, I thought it wasn't unique. It was dumb. Just say it.
If you see like a clip of some like I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's like an and one mixtape or anything from like these like 7th graders or 8th graders because now they all have them now. Like you have a couple of like middle schoolers.
It's their new Ball is Life. Like that's what we was doing with Ball is Life. That's what they do.
Ball is Life. You're seeing like videos now of like 7th and 8th graders in camp. Like, I wonder if Danny Ainge is, like, taking notes on the 7th.
Yeah, he is. And he's like, oh, it's 2031. He's got one person. He might not be doing it, but he's got one person that's doing it.
It's just wild to think about. It's like, yeah, 7 years from now, I have guaranteed job security. I know I'll be here in 7 years. Like, you know how crazy that is?
Yeah. I do like, speaking of, I do like Nick Richards. I think
that's a good pickup for them.
Yeah,
they didn't give up much for Richards, but...
I don't know. I don't know why you're committed to letting the Suns be good. Like
the Jazz, because the Jazz know if the Suns are somewhat decent, they'll keep trading away immediate assets to suck in the future for the now. Because Ishbia has no patience. I get it, but waiting 7 years to cash in on a lottery ticket's an insane amount of time.
I will say, OKC. There was some thoughts of OKC and their stockpiling of draft. Well, this isn't really a stockpiling of draft picks, but nonetheless, OKC made some moves where people are like they're still holding on to those draft picks. By the way,
yeah,
OKC still has all those draft picks. So maybe Danny Ainge is thinking some other kind of ball. But
to be fair, the Thunder did hit on virtually every one of those draft picks.
And the crazy thing is they still have more. Like that's the crazy part.
I mean, they did mess up last year though, because they traded for Gordon Hayward and they didn't get an actual center. But they could have made the finals last year if they got like Gafford, for example. They kind of blew that one. But we'll see what happens.
I wish Jimmy would give me the confidence that I would feel to start cheering for a Jimmy to OKC kind of move. I don't know why he went even. I don't know why he's not interested in OKC. They must not be interested in him.
How did the Thunder want him?
Yeah, they must be like, yo, you're not about to Gordon Hayward us. No way.
I mean, the Thunder should trade a couple picks maybe for like a Cam Johnson type, but it seems
they need. I've been waiting. Like they've been sitting on these picks for a while.
But the point is, Presti might just be a bit of a draft pick hoarder, where he just wants all the picks to himself.
Like, and we gotta build, get Jake to build us one of those like TLC, what was it, My Hoarder or whatever it's called?
Yeah, it's just hoarders.
And it's Sam Presti and a whole bunch of draft picks.
There should be a YouTube bit on that. Like you go into Presti's house and his basement's just full of draft picks, and he's like, "No, I can't get rid of these. No, please, they mean so much."
No, I need them.
I
need all my draft.
I need
picks.
all 50 draft picks. I can't get rid of any of them.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app where you can.
That's the segue we're going with. All right, sure.
Yeah,
all right,
100%. 100%.
All right.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. We're locked into the NFL playoffs. Big game on the way. You can bet all of that over there with DraftKings. You can lock into a whole bunch of DraftKings. DraftKings actually has a disclaimer where you can know what states you can actually bet unrivaled basketball in, Scott. Did you know that you can't bet it in every single state?
I did know that.
Yes. You can bet it in Colorado, Illinois, Kansas, Maryland, North Carolina, Ontario, Oregon, who I just learned had sports betting. I don't know why I don't think about the state of Oregon outside of University of Oregon. I realized I'm in Oregon State, but I really don't think about the state of Oregon at all.
Is there a reason for you to?
Yeah. Like what's over there? Honestly, is that a safe place to live? Like what's over there?
They used to have Dame Lillard, but he's not there anymore. Does that count?
What natural disaster happens in Oregon?
They have a volcano in there.
What? Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
No way.
I think they do.
No way Oregon has a volcano. There's a volcano. No way. There's not a there's no active volcano in the U.S., is there?
Oregon has several volcanoes. They have Mountain
Wow.
Hood. They have Newberry volcano. They have a couple.
Are those
volcanoes.
active?
That I don't know. I think it is. Yeah.
I've never heard of like any volcano thing. But again, I don't know about Oregon.
Fun
Nonetheless,
fact,
another.
according to 12 days ago, apparently there was a report that an undersea volcano near Oregon might explode later this year. So who knows? We'll see what happens.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't mean it. Okay, Tennessee, Washington, and Wyoming. All of that you can bet Unrivaled. Just throwing that out there for the DraftKings disclaimer. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app and use SGP, the code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
I'm just still kind of lost at the volcano thing.
Yeah,
so,
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see DKNG.co/audio.
Okay, so there's also another active volcano, Mount Rainier.
Okay.
The last time that it erupted was 1840.
It's a long
In
time.
the 1840s.
I
Yeah.
don't know how often volcanoes erupt.
I don't
enough
know,
about
but
volcanoes.
that doesn't make me feel good because it's been a while. So that means that it's due.
Ruin that argument?
I don't know how I feel about
All I know
that.
is for Oregon, they had Bill Walton back in the day. They had Dame Lillard and they had Gary Payton in college. Is that basically a good summary of what they had?
Wow, they did have Dame Lillard. Yeah.
So, and you had Oregon with Chip Kelly, who was pretty good. But they lost to Cam Newton in the title.
Did you know there's 169 active volcanoes in the United States? What in the
Also DeAnthony Thomas. Shout out to DeAnthony Thomas in college.
This is ridiculous. All right, what a deep dive.
Yeah.
Oh, most of them are in Alaska. Okay, that makes sense. Kind of.
I've never been there either.
I'm good on going. Too cold.
Too
All right.
cold.
Minnesota Timberwolves on the road going to play the Dallas Mavericks. Timberwolves laying 3. 216 is the total. Injury report here, and we got for Minnesota. Dante DiVincenzo is going to be out for a while, so you're going to see a lot more of Rob Dillingham in the lineup getting minutes. Shout out to Lil Rob out there hooping. His fit was horrible, but he was hooping. All right. His fit was horrible. Like, really bad.
How
fit.
many NBA players actually have good fits nowadays? I don't
Not
understand
a lot,
modern,
honestly.
I don't understand modern fashion. I'm the wrong guy.
Nah. Now, Shea can dress. Like, Shea is one of the best dressers in the league, I think. And his style is different, but I still think it's, like, conservative. But there's a lot of dressers. There's a lot of players in the league.
Kuzma and Russ, I think, were intentionally dressing horribly over the years. Like, that was their bit, you know?
They were intentionally dressing
You know what I
horribly.
mean? Like, that was their thing.
Yeah.
Like, they were just going for the shock and awe approach, which I feel like what modern fashion is.
It was like what's my boy RIP that used to cover for Turner. What's my guy's name?
I know who you're referring to be honest.
With the jackets, the crazy jackets.
Oh, Craig Sager.
Yes, Craig Sager. Yes. I think he was doing that on
You
purpose.
take this jacket and you burn
it. Immediately, right now, after the game. All right, back to the injury report. A lot of segues on the show today. Questionable on Quentin Grimes. Questionable tag on Najee Marshall. He's on the sick report with an illness. Sick report has really been going crazy the past couple of weeks. Derek Lively is questionable with an ankle. I'm sorry. We got another ankle questionable tag for Klay Thompson, and then no Luka Doncic in this game. No Jaden Hardy. No Dante Exum. He has no timetable for return, and no Dwight Powell.
I like how Exum came back for like half a season, was good, and then just never played again.
Yep. Crazy.
He was
he
good
literally lived up to his potential. Like, he literally lived up to his potential for half a season.
Yep, pretty much.
Hoo-wee.
I mean, Minnesota's more talented on paper, but this team sucks late in games. So I think I'm just going to go Minnesota first half and call it a day. I want nothing to do with
That actually
Finch
sounds
late
pretty
in
good.
games. I want nothing to do with Finch late in games. I've had enough. So give me Minnesota to get a lead. They'll maybe blow it later, but that's not my problem. Just give me Minnesota to look good for 24 minutes.
I'm not gonna lie. That was a very good way to point it. Yeah. You take Minnesota, you can only take them first half.
I can't stand watching this team in the last couple of minutes offensively. It's just a mess. It's so bad. Can we at least try to bench Connolly late in games? Can we try to get Dillingham to cook late in games? You can't score. At least try to get some firepower in the last couple of minutes.
I mean, so, and it's also the fact of this Minnesota team, despite getting that win on Christmas Day against Dallas,
which they almost blew, by the way. They almost blew a 30-point lead in that game.
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. They did. They really really have problems with this Dallas team. Yeah. Like this, regardless if everybody plays or not, they really get problems. I mean, how do we not hammer PJ Washington today?
Oh, he should. I think he's going for a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still a bit shorthanded in the front court because Lively might play, might not play. We'll see. Bunch of questionable tags, though. Grimes is questionable. Lively's questionable. Grimes has been good, though. Marshall's questionable. He's been good, too. Clay's questionable. To be honest, Clay's been kind of horrible lately. But, yeah, the point is they have a lot of injuries. Minnesota, I'll tell you what, DiVincenzo was kind of heating up, and then he got injured. So DiVincenzo being out is actually a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think they need the scoring and the consistency, especially down late. Scott, I think this is a candidate for your win the first half, lose the game.
It could be, but I think I'll just go Minnesota because Dallas might be missing a couple of key bench guys. Like Marshall and Grimes have been objectively good for that team for the last couple of weeks. I'll just go Minnesota first half and call it a day.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good play. All right. What's next? Utah Jazz. Oh, this should be quick. On the road, going to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. Some reason this spread dropped half a point. It was 17.5. It is now 17 to 27.5 is the total. Injury report for these two teams. And we have, Jesus Christ. All right. John Collins is questionable with the hip injury. We've got Lauri Markkanen, who is questionable with the back injury. We've got Bryce Sensabaugh, who is questionable with an ankle injury. Jordan Clarkson is out.
It's fine. They got a seventh grader along the way. It's fine.
Yeah.
Potts. They got
Potts is on the way.
You know, it's fine.
Potts is on the way, and Potts is going to save this organization.
Yeah.
Clarkson, Juzang, Potter, and Cody Williams all out. For OKC, which one is this? That is J-Dub. J-Dub, the better of the twins.
Well, that's why it dropped. But...
yeah, that's why it dropped. He is questionable. Isaiah Hartenstein is out. Chet Holmgren's out. Ajay Mitchell out.
They're 35-7, and Chet hasn't played.
Yeah, that's really crazy. And I think that's
how good they are.
Like, what does this team look like with Chet and IH in the lineup? That's the unknown to me. Like, holy crap, can they really be that good?
I still think they need another 3-point shooter, but the Thunder are the Thunder. Like, they're phenomenal.
I'm still laying it.
I think I kind of have to. There was a prop that I actually liked overnight, though. I did take Kessler over 8.5 points. He's actually been good at scoring recently.
What? You got an 8.5?
It was 8.5, yeah.
Really? Oh, well, I guess maybe it's because more people are playing.
I saw it was 9.5 in some spots.
No, because I played it. I played it the other day, and I got it at 12.5. But I also have to say, Collins wasn't playing. Markkanen wasn't playing. It was like nobody playing. So
well, Collins isn't guaranteed to do anything. So the point is, you might get Markkanen and Collins back, but the Thunder are using Williams, the other one, who's 6'9" at center, and Kessler had 17 points against this team in the first game.
I like it. So, I do like the play. Yeah.
So the point is, I think that it's a spot where even if the Thunder blow them out, they did in the first meeting, Kessler's still at 17-11. So that was my main prop that I bet overnight on this game. I think I am going to go Thunder, though. The argument is, are the Thunder going to care enough? They might not need to be honest. Like, we're talking about if Lauri plays and if Collins plays. Collins has been rumored to play for about a month. And Lauri, we never know if he's playing or not. So I don't know if it actually matters, but I'll go with
I think Lauri just kind of wakes up and decides, hey, do I want to go out there and play today? All right.
You think it's him? I think it's Ainge.
Oh, right. Yeah, it probably is. It's some form of tanking. I can't imagine that Lauri is this beat up that is literally like, it's not, what is more what is more problematic than flipping a coin? Because it's really like incredibly random when they decide to give him an injury designation and he's out. And I just can't imagine he's getting hurt that
we're
much.
not going to go roulette wheel on this one, but you know the big wheel that has like the numbers 1 to 4, and they spin the wheel and you got to pick which one it is?
Yeah.
That's Lauri Markkanen's injury status.
Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ. It doesn't.
I don't think the injury could be that bad because he played that one game against the Hawks a couple weeks ago and he had like 34 points.
No, but when he plays, he's killing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think he could play. Utah just like, who cares?
If there was an investigation against Utah for injury management, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's fine. They got a 7th grader along the way in 7 years. It's fine. They'll figure it out. Cooper Flag, if he's still around.
And Utah actually, like, Danny Ainge was going crazy with the trade for draft picks. He got a 1st-round pick for Derek Favors?
He did. Yeah. I mean, that was something the Nets did. Sean Marks did that initially when the Nets were really bad. They got like a couple picks for like Alan Crabb. Some expiring contracts and stuff. Like, that's a common theme. Not as much anymore because of the apron system, but some teams still try to do it.
All right. Yeah, we're both taking OKC, right?
I think I have to. I mean, the argument for Utah is if you get Collins back and if J-Dub is out, then honestly, J-Dub being out actually is a pretty big deal, assuming that he's not going to play. That might actually swing it for me.
He's an all-star.
I'm not going to fully lock up the Thunder here at 17.5, but I'll put it this way. If J-Dub plays, give me the Thunder. If J-Dub doesn't play, I'll take the Jazz.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at. I'm not going to play the drop, though, because it does depend on injuries for me.
Charlotte Hornets on the road going to play the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies laying 12. 240.5 is total. Injury report here, and we have for Charlotte, Brandon Miller is out. Trey Mann still out. For Grizzlies, this has got to be the most healthiest Grizzlies report I have seen in a while.
I'm so proud of them.
Marcus Smart is out. Aside from Vince Williams, who's out for the year, and Cam Spencer, who I don't know. I actually don't know what's going on with Cam Spencer at all.
Can UConn get him back? They can kind of use him.
Yeah, they really do. But Jake LaRuvia is also doubtful. But just them two in the regular rotation. Like, that is a pretty healthy injury report for the Grizzlies here. They're laying 12.
Props to Charlotte, though. Lonte and I picked them to beat Dallas, and they beat Dallas. Good for Charlotte.
Wow, I bet them that day, too. That's crazy. Yeah.
Wasn't pretty, but they won.
Dallas should not have been laying points.
No, the team's been horrible, but...
Okay, so Charlotte's been beating up on them recently, but I will admit those were some dog days. Well, let's see here. Yeah. Well, Charlotte was still a dog in some of those games, but just not as big a dog as they are now. But the last 2 games that Memphis was a huge favorite, laying 7.5 points, laying 11, they destroyed them, put up 130 on their heads.
I might actually take the points here. 12.5's a lot.
It is.
I think Charlotte's bad, but they're not like horrible. Memphis, yes, they've had injuries, and when they're healthy, they can dominate, but they really did mess around against Minnesota for like 3 quarters. Like, it felt like they were kind of just going through the motions. I think Memphis wins. I like the over in this game as my favorite play. Just give me a bunch of points in this one. The Hornets have been better lately. I'll put it that way. They're not good, but 12.5 feels pretty big for a team that doesn't play much defense. I'll take the over as my favorite play, though. Just give me points. I think you muted yourself, by the way. Yeah, I can't hear you.
My bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Love the over. Potential lock category here. In terms of playing the over. It's just the side that is, because can Memphis completely destroy this team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can they mess around and let Charlotte hang in there? Yeah.
Yeah.
That could happen too.
You know what? Memphis, this is the stat I was looking for. Memphis is 4-2 this year when laying double digits.
Okay.
4-2 ATS. Yeah, they've been handling bad teams. It's a bunch of points, though. If it's a bunch of points, it just makes me think that Charlotte's going to be a little bit closer and hanging around than I would like them to. What did they beat the Spurs by? 14 and then destroyed them. All right. Yeah, I'll lay
They
it.
were trailing it in a couple of those games, though. They just blew them out in the second half. But
And that's what I'm afraid of, that they're trailing early and then they just it's a complete meltdown by Charlotte in the second half. I'll lay it with Memphis.
I do like, by the way, I see JR mentioning that Nick Richards isn't there, but I got to point out Mark Williams. Guy's good. Mark Williams can play. So I don't mind his props in this game.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here before we get to what we got 4 games left on the slate. Before we get to that, though, to talk to you about Underdog Fantasy, a huge menu of all sports. You can tap in on college basketball, MMA, NBA, NASCAR, all of that, more. NFL, all of that with Underdog Fantasy. You can also use specials and boost on all flexed entries, and they give you specials and boost all the time over there at Underdog Fantasy. So make sure you tap in. We'll drop an Underdog lineup at the end of the show. Make sure you use that promo code when you sign up, NBA SGPN. You can get a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rithmm. Shout out to Rithmm, the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform. They have teamed up to be able to give out a whole bunch of cool, awesome props. Props for Rivals Week. Is this Rival? We're still in Rivals Week? I forgot that this was Rivals Week. We haven't talked about any rivals. Wait. Well, okay, so Minnesota, Dallas, because they had the playoffs. I have no idea what the beef with Utah and OKC is right now.
Oh, they both own 5,000 draft picks.
That's probably it.
It's the draft rivalry, you know?
Yeah, it's the draft rivalry. And then Phoenix and Brooklyn is pretty easy. But, all right, yeah, rival week. I just really hate the NBA rivalry.
Does rivalry count when rookie Donovan Mitchell beats Paul George and Russell Westbrook in a playoff series? Does that count as rivalry or not?
Oh, yeah.
There's no way that
man,
counts,
that's when everybody was announcing Donovan Mitchell is next up, man.
Yes, it was. And then they did nothing else.
And he had the one against the Rockets.
Yeah. Well, you mean when they were guarding James Harden from behind?
Wow, it's so funny. Donovan Mitchell's had a long career.
He really has. Not much playoff success, but he's had a long career.
Holy crap. Like, he's dunk contests. Like, yo, this has been a long career for Donovan Mitchell. Okay. All right. Wow. Little step back in time there. Dang, I forgot he did all of that.
Yeah.
All right, here we are. So let's see what Rithmm likes today. What prop? We did good with the Rithmm prop yesterday, by the way. Michael Porter Jr. Very good. That hit.
What Denver score again? 140 something points.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Damn, the Sixers are terrible.
Let's go with. Hey, I like this one actually. No, Dante DiVincenzo. They really need him to step up and aid with the scoring. 7.5 points for Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Okay.
It feels good, especially against the Mavs team that. I mean, up and down how they play defensively. I think that he definitely in the backcourt, a lot of the attention over there on, and I think he can step up and have some big plays here. So, yeah, I like Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
For the record, I got really excited because I thought that Rithmm was, I'd say, recommending a play on Rob. That's where I got really excited there.
Oh man, if they were recommending that would have been that would have been a play. All right, let's see here. Next game up. Oh, hold on. We're gonna give that game a second because we're gonna skip. We're gonna give that other game a second. Milwaukee Bucks. Oh wait, Rithmm. 7-day free trial. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. All right, Milwaukee Bucks laying 5.5 on the road, going to play the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans catch a 5.5 at home. 236.5 is total. Injury report, and we have where's this team at? Oh, there we go. All right, for the Bucks, Giannis is probable. AJ Green is out. Chris Middleton is probable, and it's so funny. Ankles, both ankles, and Beauchamp is probable coming off of the sick report. We've got DeJounte Murray's probable with that elbow injury. We got Misi, who is questionable on the sick report. We got Zion, who is questionable on the sick report. And Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones are out. All right. I have thoughts on this game. I would love to hear from you. I'm not going to hear because I'm about to get up and go do something for a second. But nonetheless, laying 5.5 here with the Bucks. Scott.
Give me the Pelicans in this game. I'll be a bit different here. The line's been dropping. I think it opened up at 6.5. Now it is at 5.5. Milwaukee's a team that has been fine, but I'm still not wowed by any means. I think defensively, this team's not that great. New Orleans is not great defensively either, but New Orleans, when healthy, is surprisingly not as bad as the record shows. I'm just kidding. It's not that surprising because they're 12-32, but they've been missing a bunch of guys. Now, the injury report matters a lot. Zion's questionable, of course. Missy's questionable, and DeJounte is probable for this game. So it mostly comes down to Zion for me. But when Zion plays, this team has been pretty competitive. I think that Zion is really the, I'd say, key to the game. Now, Adam's saying the game might be canceled due to snow, which is a massive throwback.
What?
That's like a massive throwback to my middle school career. Like when I was just
It is. New Orleans doesn't get snow at all.
Yeah, they don't know how to react to snow. But either way, point is that's a throwback to last snow day I had. I think was in like middle school or high school. Shout out to Modern Warfare 2 on the Xbox 360. But point is,
wait,
when was the last snow day you had?
And that was in New York, right?
Yeah.
How much snow possibly fell in New York for you to have a snow day from school?
It was always based. I went to a private school, so it was always based on the public school system. If the public school shut down, then the private schools.
But like, how much snow for New? Because I just assume that even in like what I think is a lot of snow, you guys are probably still going to.
It was mostly based on projection, where if you were expecting, I'd say like 8+ inches of snow, they would shut it down.
Oh,
so usually if it was 8+ inches projected with a couple on the ground already, they're just like, nah, we're good.
With a couple on the ground already?
Yeah, pretty much. You'd wake up, there'd be like maybe 3 inches already. They're like, nah, we're good. We're good. So they just wouldn't bother. But
we just recently had snow, but in school, the last snow day I had was in college. I had multiple snow days in college, but the one that I'm remembering was freshman year of college at A&T. And so it was funny because now we're having a big campus snowball fight, basically. So I'm walking down the campus and like there's this. So the campus is broken up into multiple parts, and there's a part called the south side of campus. And basically the joke is south side, you never go there,
Okay.
When I say that there was a group of guys and gals walking over from the south side to come to our part of campus where we were having a snowball fight. And there was one guy, and I swear he pulled a Leroy Jenkins.
He charged
I swear he was like, "What's up?" He was like, "What y'all want to do? What's up?" Yo, I lied to you not. It was like, I mean, I don't want to say it was 100 of them, but it was a lot of them. And he straight up across, like it looked like the Battle of the Bastards and Jon Snow charging at the Baratheon.
But it was a
bunch
not
Baratheons, but what's my boy name? At Remy.
Mm-hmm.
And charging at all of them. Like that's literally what it looked like. Funniest thing I've ever seen in my life because they beat the shit out of him.
I forgot to mention though, one last thing. I actually did have a snow day in college. It was called a polar vortex.
What?
It was negative 40 degrees with wind chill outside, so we ended up not having class for like a day.
I'm never going to Wisconsin.
I haven't gone back since.
Negative.
Every now and then, though, I'll check the weather report to feel better about myself in New York. It was -1 yesterday. So I'm like, yeah, I feel pretty good about myself. But yeah, it was a polar vortex. I missed a day because it was -40 outside. So that happened. But anyway, back to this game. Might not be played. I'm sure Zion's thrilled if the game doesn't play. He gets to just chill at home the entire time. But
he probably wasn't going to play anyways.
Yeah, get some hot chocolate. It is what it is. But I do think at the end of the day, I'll go with New Orleans and I'll go with the over. But this game might not get played, as Munaf said. So there you go.
I'm shocked. I didn't think you were going to like New Orleans too, because I do like New Orleans as well. I don't know why.
No, New Orleans has been better surprisingly, when their best players play, they're actually not that bad. As crazy as that sounds. So
they get up for these good teams coming into New Orleans too. Like, yeah, I'm with you. Random, really good feeling about New Orleans covering this game, but I love the over. Over is my best bet. There's going to be nothing but points here, and I hope that this low storm or whatever doesn't slow down what happens in game, because I think there's going to be 1,000,000 points in game.
See, Beans, I think the worst part, I don't remember if it actually happened or not, or I just thought about it. So it was -40. I was in a frat house, so we ended up just drinking the entire day to stay warm, whatever. We were playing like Pong and, beer ball, all the other stuff. I'm trying to remember if I ordered a pizza or not, and I basically almost killed the delivery guy. I don't remember if I did or not.
That is actually very selfish. It's very selfish to order a pizza and negative.
I don't know if I did or not.
I would do it too, because I would do it too because I'm not going.
I think I might have. Like, somebody's got to eat. I think I tipped him an extra like $20-$30 for traveling in the snow, so I tried to make it like worth it. But
Where are you seeing -12 in Virginia right now? What part of Virginia you
I
in?
may or may not have like forced a pizza man to go outside to drop me off pizza in like full SpongeBob move, and that might have been a dick move on my part. But
It's 21 degrees in Nova. Oh, I was about to say, what? What -12?
I think it's like 20 something in New York, but then I look at Wisconsin, it's like -1. I'm like, yeah,
No,
I'm good.
There's no way.
I'm good.
No shot.
And that's pre-wind chill, by the way. It's -1. So
Pro domes, me right here. Pro domes. Kobe's gonna be so pissed. All right, let's get to the next game.
you think Kobe watches this show?
No way.
He's too
No
busy
shot.
he's too busy going through 80
No
games in college.
shots.
Come on.
No shot, Kobe. Maybe if he's like scrolling, and then he's probably asleep right now. But maybe if he's scrolling and he sees it on my feed, he might click on the X feed and listen for 2 seconds. No shot, Kobe spends more than a minute listening to the show.
Yeah.
All right, Cleveland Cavaliers in the game of the night, going up against the Houston Rockets. Cavs. Scott, this line has been moving. It was opened up at 2. I saw it at 2. I watched it get to 3, and now it's back down to 2.5.
It's game of the night, so I'm looking forward to it.
229.
Of course, the game's not on TV, by the way. I mean, why would you put this game on when you could watch Dallas with no Luka play on TV? Can we flex some TV games like a week in advance? This game should be on TV. Like, come on. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Separate rant there. You got to start flexing TV games because it's just a joke. The time won't
thank
change.
you. Thank you, Anthony. Shout out to the listeners that still keep me on tops of the B-Day games because I swear I be forgetting sometimes. But yeah, okay. Dylan Brooks' birthday game here. We've got 229.5 is the total injury report for these two teams, and we have for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Karis LeVert is questionable to play in this one. Yeah, questionable with the wrist injury. Evan Mobley's out. Isaac Okoro's out. That's all that matters. Jabari Smith Jr. is out for the Rockets. Okay. I have a bunch of thoughts here because there's part of me that wants to believe that the Rockets really get up as a home dog here and handle business. This is the litmus test for them of, hey, we can beat one of the best teams in the league.
In hindsight, clear look ahead game against Detroit. In hindsight.
Yeah. But very, very much a look ahead game against Detroit. But
I should have checked that. That's my bad. But
yeah. But my issue here is, do you remember that game they played Boston?
Yeah.
And for Boston not to be Boston right now, or at least what people would, think of as Boston, it didn't really feel like they were going to win that game.
It didn't.
And so what if the Rockets just play really good defense here, but yet there's really just no thought of them winning the game?
I think what the word we're looking for is, I don't want to use the word officially as pretender, but they're a high-seeded team, and I feel like no top-tier team's afraid of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I feel like anybody else below them is terrified, and anybody else above them is like, all right, it's just the Rockets.
Pretty much. I don't think they have a closer. It's still the issue I have with this team late in games. They're relying on like Dylan Brooks or Van Vliet. I mean, I know Jalen Green's kind of had a moment here again for the last couple of weeks, but I feel like Houston's a team that might just be the litmus test. They're like the NBA gatekeeper.
Yeah.
You beat them, your team's serious. You lose to them, you're not a serious contender, but you don't really take Houston seriously to be one of those inner circle teams. That's kind of where I'm at. So I think I am going to go Cleveland. I think Cleveland's just better. That's where I'm at. I think it's going to be close, though. I like the under in the game, and the total's too high.
Oh, my gut is just screaming something about the Rockets here.
If Houston keeps it close, I got to go with the under because I don't think they have enough firepower to keep up with the Cavs.
I do really like the under 229.5. I'm going to stick with my guns, and I'm going to go Rockets, and I'm going to give them this shot here. And this will be my determining factor of, hey, Houston honestly can beat everybody lower than them in the standings. Just nobody above them. Yeah, I'm going to use this as litmus test. I'm taking Houston.
Okay.
That's going to, because either if I lose money, I'm going to remember it. So, all right. 229.5 is total. Yeah, I like the under there. Yeah, because they have, because there's no LeVert, no Mobley. If there's any other time to beat the Cavs, it has to be now.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be now. All right. I feel good about that. Golden State Warriors on the road going to play the Sacramento Kings. Kings laying 7.5 here. 230 is the total. Injury report here. Kyle Anderson's out. Draymond's out. Kuminga's out. Podziemski is out. Sacramento has no injury report.
I mean, they played, a couple weeks ago, and the Kings won by 30?
Yeah.
Is there any reason why you'd want to back Golden State with no Kuminga and no Draymond?
Only because it means that I have to take the Kings laying this number.
But they've been good lately. Maybe not necessarily covering, but they've been winning games. Golden State, I think, is a lost cause. I mean, you have no Kuminga, you have no Draymond, you have no Anderson.
no Kuminga for I honestly, if you told me that same injury report and you gave me Jonathan Kuminga, I could talk myself into Golden State.
What do they have? You have Steph, who's been injured, who's playing through an injury, by the way, who looked horrible against the Celtics. They got blown out by 40. I don't think this team is worth a damn, so I'll go with the Kings.
The familiarity is the concerning part here. Because what if Golden State just randomly gets up for this game? But again,
you can say that about any team, though. Golden State, more often than not, over the last 2 months, is more likely to completely fall apart than get up for the game.
Yeah. This is a lot of points.
And these teams hate each other. Kings are still salty about the Game 7 50 piece by Steph. They're still annoyed by that. So give me the Kings, light the beam.
I would be more shocked, even though both are pretty. Somebody has to cover this game because they're not hanging a flat number here. Or I would just say this is going to end up being a push.
Okay.
But I guess I would be more surprised if Golden State covered the game than if the Kings
route the crap out of them.
Yeah.
I'm more in line to the latter. I think the Kings might bury this team.
And they really need the spots.
I know the Celtics when they care are good defensively. Golden State, watching that first half especially, it didn't get any better in the second half. What do they have offensively? You have Steph, who was once again injured. He's playing through injury. Wiggins, who's fine. And what else do you got?
I mean, you're really just hoping that the system is the system and you get good play out of a Buddy Hield or you get good play out of Gary Payton, Moses Moody. You're really just hoping that Kerr's system wins out and the talent that is there just steps up for a game, which is a lot to ask for. Whereas Sacramento, I'm just hoping that they don't blow it. Yeah, I'm just hoping they don't blow it.
They have so many weapons. I mean, if you want to talk about the best players on the court, Steph's going to be one. You still have Fox, you still have Monk, you still have Sabonis, you still have DeRozan. Do the Kings have the 4 of the 5 best players on the court in this game?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, everything outside of Steph. Yeah.
So if the Kings actually care, they could route this team. I'll go.
Maybe Wiggins can make himself a 5 and we can have a discussion there, but
yeah, maybe.
All right. Yeah, I'm taking the Kings. This is that's disgusting.
And the Warriors are disgusting.
If there was a dog that went outright and people were surprised by it, it's the Warriors.
I think I disagree. I think that the Kings might route this team. The dog to win outright, I think, is New Orleans.
Well, definitely. Okay, yeah, definitely New Orleans. But I don't know, man. Something just doesn't feel good about this Kings team, and laying this number just feels horrible.
See, I don't know how to feel about the Kings team because, yes, they've underachieved so far this season, but since Christie became coach, they've actually been pretty good. So I don't know if it's mostly a reputation thing where we're looking at the
possessions
team.
Good.
I mean, the argument that I'd have is they're good enough to score 120 in a given game. Golden State, I don't know about that.
And so that's what the team total is at 118.5. I love that.
That's kind of why that's kind of why I like the Kings, though. If the Kings get to 120, I don't know if Golden State can actually get to 113. Because offensively, they really don't have much. So, yeah, that's kind
of. I'm trying to talk myself into betting Kings, but I can't get there to bet Kings.
I'm not picking the Kings. I'm not picking the Kings to be like a team that could win a playoff series, but I think that they're definitely better now than they were with Mike Brown being there.
Yeah, and Golden State fucking sucks right now.
Yeah. I've been all over the Golden State fade wagon for about a month or two, and it's worked out pretty well. So, give me Sacramento.
All right, we're on Sacramento. Boston Celtics are on the road going to play the Los Angeles Clippers in Inglewood. Boston's laying 11.
Are you serious? This game's not on TV either?
What could possibly go on
Just for
wrong?
reference, by the way, this game and the Cavs-Rockets game, arguably the two best games on the card, both not on TV. I'll have a great time watching Warriors-Kings on TV. What a joke. We flex some damn games.
And I think they don't think of this as one of the best games on the slate because it's an 11-point spread. But that's
a good game.
It's no fault to the Clippers. There's no reason that Boston should be favored by double digits here. I mean, despite them being the defending champions, really, really tough to take them as this large of a favorite.
I am annoyed that Kawhi's out, though, because Kawhi did miss the last game. You figured maybe he'd come back. He's officially out. So that is worth talking about.
11-15 ATS as a double-digit favorite is the Boston Celtics this season.
Yep.
They have lost a lot of those games outright.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure majority of those losses that they have in those 13 losses are as double-digit favorites.
The problem is the Clippers might be missing their entire team because Harden's questionable, Powell's questionable. They already announced that Kawhi's out and Zubac's out.
Did I not do the injury sick report? My bad.
I'm just saying the Clippers might be missing like their entire team.
Drew Holiday's questionable. You got Al Horford, who is where'd you go, Al? Oh, his questionable, and Peterson's questionable. Oh man, what the heck? Oh, this is the wrong page. My website just crashed on me. All right, there we go. Now we're back to why the fuck is Batum in? I can't believe he's still in the league. He's really had a really long career.
I imagine he's a great locker room guy.
Yeah, like I imagine he's just the guy that everybody loves in the locker room. Like, all right, Batum is questionable with the finger injury. We've got Chris Dunn, who is questionable. Jesus Christ. James Harden is questionable with that groin. You talked about it. Norman Powell's questionable with back soreness. Kawhi's out. PJ Tucker's out. Zubac is out. When did Zubac hurt his eye?
A couple games ago, I think.
So looks like more Mo Bamba. That's hilarious. Yeah. Ew. Dang, this is actually like not the Clippers team that I want to back.
No, I think I actually am going to go Celtics in this game. Clippers are just missing so many guys. And the fact is the spread's gone up. It does seem like there's a chance that some of these guys might miss. I mean, you need Harden, you need Powell. Those are the main two guys. But in reality, they're just potentially missing so many options offensively. I think I actually am going to go Boston.
Give me Clippers.
Okay.
They've really been playing down the competition. If I get Norman Powell and James Harden, I feel good.
That's what I'm saying is that you have to wait it out, but I think there might be a decent chance that at least one of them miss. So I'll wait it out on the injury report, but I'll go Boston for now.
I like the under in this game.
Yeah, so do I.
All right, cool. Yeah, Boston's defense steps up. Clippers have been playing solid defense. And honestly, with all those outs, the defensive lineup is probably going to be out there for majority of the game, meaning no scoring. Okay. Lock, dog, underdog. Scott, what are we doing?
Oh, you want me to go first?
Oh, wait, is it me? I'm sorry.
Whichever you want.
I don't know.
You went first yesterday and you hit your lock. So
I did?
Yeah.
I went first yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah.
I did take that. All right. For my lock, I think Phoenix is really going to destroy them.
Yeah.
The under in Cavs Rockets is very tempting as well.
That is a very high total.
I played the over in the Bucks and the Pelicans game already on my other show. Can't double up there, but just wanted to give that information to the people. But man, you get LaMelo and 12 in one game. Dog, this is gonna be like an all-star game. There might be 300 points in this game. They're going to be running with pace up and down the court. A whole bunch of highlight reels. Oh, man. I mean, Josh putting somebody on a poster today. I feel it. I just feel it. Josh put somebody on the poster. They're going to be going up and down the court, and there's not going to be any defense played. And Memphis is fine not playing defense right now, actually. I don't know why they are. And I think
They keep winning. They just outscore
but
the
they
other
need
team.
to figure that out before the playoffs.
It might be like a Pacers thing where they just play with so much pace, they just try to physically wear out the opponent by just having them run up and down the court.
Yeah.
Might just be a strategy thing.
At some point, they're going to lock in defensively. And
At some point.
I'm gonna have to start taking their unders. But as of right now, it's pure over for Memphis. So yeah, let's take Charlotte in Memphis, and we'll go over 240.5. Highest total of the night goes over. For my dog, yeah, I think the cardiac kids are gonna upset today. Give me New Orleans plus 180.
Okay. I like it.
I don't know. Gotta trust your gut. Something in my gut just says New Orleans is in this game.
So just to ask, though, do you have a potential backup, assuming this game maybe gets snowed out?
Good point. My backup would be Rockets is plus 125. I think my backup would be I would go for this swing for the fences and just say we're completely right about how this Minnesota game goes and take Minnesota first half and Mavericks to win the game.
Okay, I can get behind that. Minnesota's actually 10th best in the league in point differential in the first half.
Wow.
Fun fact, Minnesota.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What?
It just got postponed.
Okay. It's a good thing I brought it up.
It literally just dinged it and said it got postponed.
Well, that's why I brought it up. So
all right, there we go. That's the dog then. We're going Minnesota first half, Dallas win game.
Okay. Well, I was right on cue. So the New Orleans play, forget about it. That game got voided. Anyway, for my lock and dog, there actually is a lock that I like, but the guy might not play. So it's a player prop. So I'll give out 2 instead. I'm going to go with, first of all, Chris Dunn. I'll go with his under 8.5 points at minus 135. He's been horrible lately. In fact, he's had less than 9 points in 16 of his last 20 games. He's had less than 8 points, actually, in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Dang,
11.
they got that much snow?
That I'm not sure about. He's
What?
had less than
That sounds like a lot.
He's had less than 9 points in 12 straight games, and he's questionable with a knee issue. So he might not play. Once again, he might be limited. He started last game, played 15 minutes, had 2 points. So yeah, Chris Dunn doesn't scare me. I'll go with his under 7.5 points, but 8.5 points at minus 135. But I'll give out something else because Dunn might not play. So I do like the idea of fading an injured player. For my lock, though, I am going to go Minnesota first half. I'll go with the first half spread there. I think that at the end of the day, Minnesota's been a good first half team, and I pulled it up. Randomly, they're tied for the 3rd best road first half point differential in the league, which is shocking to me. But Minnesota's randomly a good first half team on the road. And I think that after losing that game against Memphis, they'll be motivated to get off to a good start. Dallas is kind of in free fall right now because they don't have much talent. And they've been able to kind of sneak back into games late, but they've been kind of struggling early in games. So I do like the idea of Minnesota first half here. Then they'll show up. And maybe Randall will actually put the ball in the basket for once. Maybe. You never know. But I think that for the sake of this matchup, the first half spread is right now available at, trying to find the exact number I can get here. I can get Minnesota minus 1.5 in the first half at minus 110 on FanDuel. That's good enough for me. I'll give you Minnesota once again, first half minus a 1.5 as my bonus lock there, assuming Chris Dunn does not play. That's my 2 locks. For my dog, I'm going to fully disagree with you with our breakdown of the Warriors and Kings game. I'm going to go with the Kings to win 11 plus for the win margin here. I think the Warriors stink.
Yeah.
And I've gone on record saying this, but I can get the win margin here for the Kings here. I can get the win margin 11 plus on the Kings available at plus 145. I'll take that. I don't think that the Warriors can score, and I see that the Kings should be able to torch this defense, in my opinion. But you got Fox, you got DeRozan, you got Monk, you got Sabonis. Everyone's healthy. So I like the actual injury report in their favor. Give me the Kings 11 plus, or in other words, Kings minus 10.5 at plus 145 is my dog.
All right. So J-Dub was participating in shoot around.
Okay.
You have Lauri Markkinen, who's available to play.
And Collins apparently is available to play.
Yep, Collins is available to play as well, and Bryce Sensabaugh is out.
Okay.
Rerunning that OKC and Jazz game.
I'll take the points.
It is a lot of points now. I wish J-Dub was out. It would make this so much easier. They do have Walker Kessler, who can be a force on the inside without Chet and without IH. And maybe that's the X factor that they need. Yeah, I'm with you. All right, I'll take the points.
By the way, for the record, that's not an actual lock or dog. We're just going back to that game because there's some injury news.
Some weird person is going to go out there and be like, yeah, let's bet that game.
Mm-hmm.
And no, don't bet that game. They're going to bet it anyway because we have degenerates as fans, and it's fine. Love it.
We love them for the degenerates that they are.
Scott, I was really, really close to locking up Phoenix minus 11.5. I didn't say that, but I'm extremely close to locking that, and I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to end up betting that for the day is over.
Okay.
All right, Underdog. Let's close things out. What do we like today? I wonder if Walker Kessler's still up here.
I'm assuming my Chris Dunn thing is not going to be available on Underdog, so that's probably not an option. But
Walker Kessler is not up there, probably because this all just came down.
Yeah.
I would have loved to play it. Wait, what was the Chris Dunn play again?
It was the under 8.5 points.
0.89. 0.89.
I still like it. Once again, he's on under in 12 straight and he's injured. So I'm
lower
for
Chris Dunn.
Yeah.
We'll throw that in there. Let's see. What else do we like here? Man, they took out it was a bunch of props that I liked in the New Orleans and the Bucks game, man. All right. Let's figure this out. Let's see. So, Ja, LaMelo. Whew. All right.
You want to go, Ja?
22.5 feels low.
That's a low for that defense.
Hornets?
Feels low. That's a low for that defense.
That feels really low, man. Yeah, Ja, 22.5 higher.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm afraid of Mark Williams because I think he might be in foul trouble.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same
potential.
way.
Yeah, there's a potential. You know, Santi Aldama's been really good recently.
Yeah, has been good player.
Really good. What else, Scott? Give me something else.
You want to go Cade? You want to go Cade something in that Hawks game?
Oh yeah, I can do that.
His points are 26.5.
Wait, is there any concern about the Dyson Daniels matchup?
Do you think there should be?
Potentially. So, I've seen a lot of things earlier that led to Tobias Harris having a really good day today, and I ultimately didn't play it because DeAndre Hunter should be getting a bunch of minutes. So I didn't know if I wanted to apply that same logic.
For a second, I thought you were about to pitch me Tobias Harris entry.
No. Okay. I literally didn't play it because there's going to be too much DeAndre Hunter, and all of those games that he went off, he did not play against DeAndre Hunter.
Okay. So do you want to potentially pivot and go Daniels lower on his PRA because he's going to be guarding Cade?
Either a Daniels lower or take his steals. His steals have been really good. What is his steals at?
His steals are really good.
It's 0.81. We've already got a point.
He's the Great Barrier Thief.
No.
I'm trying to think of what else we want to consider going with. I mean, do you want to go like Duran rebounds or like Malik Beasley threes or something?
Let's wait and see. Jalen Johnson is going to throw that game off. Let's get off of that.
Okay,
let's go PJ Washington. PJ Washington.
Okay.
PJ Washington against the Mavericks. Yes.
Yeah, you mean against?
I mean against
it's fine.
Against the Timberwolves.
We can go for the rebounds or something for PJ if you want.
We can do rebounds is at 7.5.
That is pretty low for PJ.
Set 0.89. No, Jesus, we're sapping all the juice out of it.
Okay, you know what? I'll pitch something in the meantime. Can we do Jalen Green points at 21.5? I know they're against Cleveland, but that number's too low for Jalen Green right now. 21.5 is very low for his point total. Do we agree on that? He's taking like 20 shots again. 22.5. I mean, I still don't mind it, but you have any thoughts?
No.
Okay, we'll go higher on that. Why not?
I'm fine with that. All right.
We'll back the hot hand.
So Chris Dunn lower 8.5 points. John Morant higher, 22.5 points. And Jalen Green higher, 22.5 points. That's pretty easy. 5.3x over there, Underdog Fantasy. $100 gets you $534 over there at Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
Not really. Once again, pretty interesting NBA card. I have a couple tennis episodes for the Australian Open. I actually just recorded an episode for the women's semis about an hour ago. So I did that. If you wanted thoughts on the men's semis, I'll do that later today. But once again, I got a bunch of tennis episodes.
All right. He's been on fire. Best tennis podcast out there.
I had a 16-1 long shot for an outright. So that feels pretty good.
For the semis?
I picked the quarters. So I basically did a breakdown of players I predicted to make the semifinals, and I gave out a woman who was 16-1, and she got there. So
nice. All right. He's at Retro Radio. I'm at reallyreal __. Give us a follow at SGPN NBA on X, and make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcasts, and a like. Drop a like and a comment on the video on your way out. With that,
watch
I have
out for
nothing else
volcanoes.
to say. Yeah, watch out for volcanoes, man. I did not know how dangerous that was for us in the U.S., but that's actually really, really dangerous and possibly one of the funniest weird stats we've come up on. Wow, I didn't know that. And he said that it was an active one that was thought to explode.
Underwater. Yeah, underwater.
Jesus Christ. All right. Hope everybody in Oregon is safe. With that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to like this. We are out of here.